Several nuances to soldering phase wires that I should probably explain. First of all, if you're new to soldering, the first thing that I do is I use a butane torch to melt the insulation on the ends of these wires so that I can easily pull it off with a pliers. This creates a clean break all the way around the wire. The next thing I do is I melt some solder into these wires so that it will be easier to solder them when it comes time. The other thing that I do is I nip off the last millimeter or two of the copper that I just soldered, because the very ends of the wires tend to be larger than the wire is, just another millimeter farther in. Again, this is so that the soldering process goes smoothly and I don't get any stray strands poking out after I'm done. The three-phase plug that I'm using is called an XD60, which is the relative of the XT60 connector, and it comes with a nice insulator that works in place of shrink tubing, which is really nice. And the next thing that I do is I plug in the XD60 into the controller plug, which I've already got soldered. This way heat will dissipate through the length of this wire and it won't all get bottled up in the one plug, because if it gets bottled up then it will melt the plastic and you don't want that. The other thing I do, just like with the wires, I also put a little bit of solder in the plug itself, again to make the process go more quickly so that I don't melt the plastic in the plug. Another thing that I've kind of researched on Endless Sphere forum is the colors of the phases. Now I've got a Lian controller here, and it turns out that Lian controllers have the same color coding as the high-powered Cyclone motor kit. I'm about 75% sure about this. I could still be wrong, so we'll see. The way that I did that was I matched up the labels of the phases as written online, A, B, and C, with the colors red, black, and white. Now, the low-power Cyclone motors use red, black, and white colors, so all I had to do was match red, black, and white, A, B, and C, over to green, blue, and yellow. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully it'll work the first try and I won't have to resolder. But if I do, it's not a problem. I can just nip these off and try again.